and the tan of 2 theta. There. This is the only thing I'm going to do here today. Let me erase all this. There's the formulas. Now, you see for sine and cosine, you see all these that are here? What's the only thing in the formulas? Sine of theta or cosine of theta, right? So when you do problems like this, what's the first thing you're going to have to determine? What's the sine of theta equal? What's the cosine of theta equal? Now in that example, cosine of theta you already know. Boom, 3/5. Now here, be smart here. It says the sine of theta is less than 0. That means it's negative, right? What quadrant we in? This is big. Don't screw up the quadrants. Remember, you know your rules for the sines and the quadrants? If the cosine of theta is a positive 3/5, but the sine of theta is less than 0, that means it's negative. Where are you at? Where's the angle? Chris, quadrant 4. Does everyone understand that? So let's write here, and you're going to need to know that. Quadrant 4. Does anyone have a question on that? Because in quadrant 4, isn't cosine positive? And isn't sine negative? Yes?
I don't understand that.
Your rules for quadrants, Jimmy.
Yeah.
All sine, tan, cos law, right? The cosine of theta is 3/5. That means it's positive. But it also says the sine of theta is less than 0, which means it's negative. Wouldn't the fourth quadrant be the only place you could be? In the fourth quadrant, wouldn't cosine be positive, sine be negative? You see? I mean, there's only one quadrant it could be in. You all should know what to tell me here. What do I have to find first? And you already know how to do this because you've already done it this week. Before I can use these formulas here, if I know the cosine of theta is 3/5, what do I obviously have to find first to use all this stuff over here? You've already done this, boys. You've already done it in homework problems that I've already given back to you today.
You have to do 1 minus 3/5.
1 minus cosine squared will be sine squared, right? Just plug this in, right? Sine squared equal 1 minus cosine squared. So in your notebook, go sine squared of theta equals 1 minus, somebody? Howard?
9/25.
What's that? Go ahead.
16/25.
Now listen to me. You guys understand when you do this stuff, these aren't always going to be perfect squares, right? If they're not, you're going to have a radical somewhere, reduce it, get rid of the radical in the bottom, the whole 9 yards, right? What's sine of theta equal here? Remember, you're in the fourth quadrant now. Don't screw up your signs. Quadrant 4, what's sine of theta equal? Rob? Negative 4/5, right? Now, fellas, look, you're kind of home free now. Do you see what it's asking you to find? Okay, sine of 2 theta. All you have to do right now is what? Tell me. This is not hard. I want to know what's the sine of 2 theta. So where are you going to? Right there. Are you with me? All I'm showing you here? Tell me what to do. How you gonna find that? Adam.
You plug in sine theta and
Put them in.
so it's 2 negative 4/5.
So in your notebook, you got 2 times, what's the sine of theta? Just found it. Negative 4/5. Times, what's cosine of theta? They gave it to you up there. It's 3/5. So what's the first answer? Now remember, this is over 1. Just multiply. That's grade school arithmetic there. How?
-8/5 times 3/5.
No, just multiply everything you see there. You know, when you multiply fractions. You can't cancel anything, so just multiply.
24/25.
Negative.
Yeah.
Negative 24/25. Does someone have a question?
Is that it?
No, well, it's the first part. Look, see what it's asking to find? That's sine of 2 theta. Just plug it in. Okay, find cosine of 2 theta. All right, I'm gonna come over here. Now, here's where you have options. Just listen to me. Here's where I don't care what you do. Cosine of 2 theta. There were 3 different forms of it. I don't care which one you use. What I would probably do is use one of these because there's only one trig function in it. Now, do you understand what I'm saying to you? Whether you plug in here, whether you plug in here, or whether you plug in here, I could do it 3 different ways, which I'm not going to do, and you would get the same damn answer every time. So you just use whatever form you want to use for cosine. Sine only has 1. So here, I'm going to use the first one, or the third one there. 2 cosine squared of theta minus 1. Now watch this. 2 times what? That's cosine squared of theta. So there's cosine of theta. Square it. It's 2 cosine squared of theta. Come on, you're just plugging in. You're just squaring it. So 2 times what? John? Minus 1. This is grade school arithmetic. 2 times 9/25 is 18/25. Minus 1. Now just go ahead and get a common denominator. What's that going to be? What's 18/25 minus 1? Minus 25/25, just LCD. Noah?
I'm trying to, negative. Like, no, I thought I wrote it down, wait, it said negative 7/25.
Negative 7/25. There's that one. There's this one. Now I want to see how smart you are. And then we're done. I'm going to give you the homework and you're going to start on. Now I want to see how smart you are. This is an honors class. Honors students always do math problems the best way. You know what the best way is? The quickest. How are you going to find the tangent of 2 theta right now using the information on the board? Haven't done that in a while. Oh, come on. I know somebody can come up with this. It's not hard. The sine of theta is this. No, I'm sorry. The sine of 2 theta is this. And the cosine of 2 theta is that. We just found them. I want to know how you're going to find the tan of 2 theta. Now that you already know the sine and cosine of 2 theta. Is your hand up, Max? Go ahead.
Putting the sine of 2 theta over the cosine of 2 theta?
Thank you. Look. Look. Isn't sine over cosine tan? Isn't that one of your basic identities? Yes. Now, when you do this, you notice these all got to be the same angle, though. So the tan of 2 theta is the sine of 2 theta over the cosine of 2 theta. So, what's the sine of 2 theta? Negative 24/25. Now, divided by cosine of 2 theta, which we just found over there to be negative 7/25. Multiply by reciprocal, right? Now, without me showing it, if you multiply by the reciprocal, fellas, look. Those are going to drop, right? You have times by negative 25/7. So what's the answer to the tan of 2 theta? Adam?
Negative 24/7.
No, not quite.
Oh, positive 24/7.
Negative divided by a negative would make a positive 24/7. Now, does everybody see that? I'm only going to give you 4 problems to do, very similar to this. All right, go back to your iPads. Let me do this first. Take out a good piece of paper. Okay, you're going to your textbook right now. Page 219, and now go there, because I'm changing the directions here a little bit. Go to page 219. Page 219. $11, $12, $15, and $16. There's the directions. Now get there. Just use the information that's in your book for 11, 12, 15, and 16. Now just glance at them. Aren't they just like the one I just did? I mean, look at it. They're giving you like a sine or a cosine, and then they're telling you if something's greater or less than 0. So the first thing you got to do on these four is mark down the quadrant you're in, and then just use 1 minus sine squared or 1 minus cosine squared, and then find this, this, and this. Now, one little side note, and then you're going to start doing this. After you do the first two parts, how are you going to get the third answer again? After you get this one and after you get this one, how are you going to get the third one? You're just going to this answer over that answer. Multiply by reciprocal, get the answer. Okay? I don't think that should be too bad. Does anyone have a question? Go ahead, fellas.